Women's football first became popular in Wales during World War One. In 1922, 15,000 people turned out to watch a women's football match at Cardiff Arms Park. But the FAW followed the English FA in banning women's matches from any of its grounds until 1970. Women's football was impacted hugely. The women's game wasn't funded, wasn't televised, and players had to pay to play matches rather than be paid. Players who should have been household names spent their whole careers being unknown outside the game. From the media coverage of football, it was easy to get the impression that women weren't interested in playing the game. A national team was formed in 1973, but it was another 20 years and a lot of hard work before the team played a competitive game under the Football Association of Wales. While we have footage of the highs and lows of the men's team of these decades, the lack of media coverage for the women's team is striking. As a result of this, I didn't know much about Wendy Reilly, the trailblazing subject of this episode. I went to meet her in her hometown of Newport. So Wendy, we're in Pill in Newport and we've just taken a look at James Street, which was the first street you lived on in Wales. What was it like growing up around here?
Oh, it's such a good community to live in Pill. I mean, everybody knew everybody and your front doors were always open. Very diverse. Lots of little ethnic groups everywhere, do you know what I mean? Not in one place, so they're spread all over the place. So, a good sense of everybody knowing everybody, really.
Mm-hmm. And it was here that you sort of first played football out in the street?
Yeah. Up in James Street, in Baldwin Street, up to the Palace. You know, a chap used to train us, his name was Spencer. We used to run across over the Transporter Bridge, over to Coronation Park, do another little bit of training, and then come back to the YMCA. Fantastic times.
So
really
football
good.
Was a huge part of your life?
Oh, football was my life.
And from here, where did you move to?
We went out to Ringland then because they started saying that you're moving everybody out of Pill and moving them to Dufferin, to Ringland, to wherever, which is was a real shame, really. Just broke up the community. And that's where I used to play football as well, on Henry Farm Drive, a little place. And Nathan Blake used to live across the road.
So I've heard this, and not only that, I've heard that Nathan Blake said that you were the best player on the estate.
Really? Well, he's just being kind, I think.
He was a talented footballer.
Very
for that
talented,
time as well.
yeah, he was very talented. Obviously, he made the grade, and obviously it was a different game in women's football and men's football, but he worked hard to where he got to. While in Newport, I met up with ex-Cymru international Nathan Blake, the first black player to score for the men's team, to talk about his childhood memories of Wendy. So Nathan, we're here on the Ringland Estate. What are your memories of growing up here?
Well, as you can see, like there was a lot more green space. I was brought up in the block of 4 beds there. Wendy was brought up in a block of 4 beds here. There's a lot of green space behind, which has been fenced off and rugby, but mostly just playing sport, football, baseball, probably the 2 biggest sports we played. Break dancing right on that bus stop there when it was raining, or right underneath it. So it's just a great place to grow up.
And what about your memories of Wendy? So she's a bit older than you. Do you remember her as a footballer? Would she play? Would she join in?
Every time I would see Wendy, she would be getting off this bus stop right here. Mm-hmm. She lived just there, and she always had like football kit, a bag, gear, in shorts, trainers, football attire. She was known as I would say, modern day Gregory's Girl. Before Gregory's Girl, anyone who's seen that film, she was known as a very good footballer. Not, she's a girl who plays football. She was just known as Wendy, who's probably the best footballer around on the estate.
And were there many girls playing football on the estate at that point?
No, she was the only one I knew. Like we had probably between juniors and seniors, probably 10, maybe 12 teams at the boys' club, but there was no girls' teams. And that's why I say I always remember Wendy getting on the bus and leaving. We'd hear she's going to this game or she's going to that game, going to play for Wales or wherever. So never seen her play, just around here.
So, Wendy, you very kindly brought some photos from your
Did.
career. Can you talk us through?
We can. A few things here when I actually started playing football for the boys' team. I mean, there I am. We actually played in a tournament there, and we won the tournament.
Right.
So, this is the team that I played in. So, this is the boys' team.
Under 14.
Yeah, under 14s, 1975.
Only girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I loved it. It was great playing with the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I didn't feel any different, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was one of the boys. A couple of doors down, there was a girl who used to play football, and I used to just play in the street. She was a couple of years older than me. I used to just play in the street with the boys. And the one time she said, "Hey, we got a girls' team. Do you want to come and join the girls' team?" It's a girls' team. I've never played in a girls' team before. She said, "Yeah." She said, "Come along on our training sessions, and you can join." So I went along, and they were all brilliant. I was thinking, I thought I was the only girl player, and look at these, that was really good. And a couple of them even played for Wales. So I was thinking, this is what I want to do.
Was your path towards
Yeah.
playing for Wales?
Yeah.
Where do you think Wendy got her determination from to be a footballer?
I think largely it's down to upbringing, and if you want something, you go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember as a kid when I would see Wendy, she would always talk sort of, I would say like a professional, what I know now.
Yeah.
If I was giving advice to someone younger, that's how she would speak to me. If I would see it, it wasn't a case of, oh, hired and gone. It was, okay, let me see what you've got, like, what have you done, or what have you practiced, sort of thing. She was that type of person, So, like, not a huge influence, but influential enough for me to remember her as a sort of a person that not just played football, but she was like a coach then as well,
Right.
I suppose. She gave me that sort of vibe as a kid. She was serious. She wasn't like just a girl that liked playing football. She was a proper footballer, I'd say.
Wendy made her comedy debut at the age of 16 against Scotland in 1979. This was in an era when the women's team was not yet affiliated with the FAW, when kits were often borrowed from the men's team, and when they couldn't use the official dragon on their shirt.
Does it feel like the women's game of that era has got the credit it deserves? You were effectively sort of pioneers for what we're now seeing.
Not really. I don't feel that there's enough. There's not enough about the actual previous footballing history, really. It's all about today's game, I think. I mean, for the Welsh team to start and the FAW to get a hold of them, there's 3 girls, Karen Jones, Michelle Adams and Laura McAllister.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for them approaching Alan Evans, we wouldn't be here today. I really believe that.
And when you see the women's game now and the attention it's getting, is there any sense of you that feels you sort of missed out on the opportunity to be, on television and more widely known?
Obviously, you would like to be playing football at this time. Mm-hmm. You would, because that would have been your dream, wouldn't it? But I'm not envious at all of them. I just think, wow, what an opportunity. And without us playing where we played to get it there, they wouldn't be doing that today. But I think it's fantastic. I really enjoy watching the games. If I can go to any of the games, I really enjoyed it. And what happened in Wembley last year has not only helped the English FA, it's helped the whole Welsh FA and Scottish FA and everything. It's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it.
And what does Nathan think about the increased coverage of women's football?
About time.
Yeah.
Never understood it. Like I said, from 8, 7, 8, no Wendy, and then 16 was the first time I seen ladies football at the professional club. Never really understood why girls don't play football, like locally in school or what have you. It just wasn't seen as a thing. You've got to tilt your hat to people like Wendy, because people say, oh, trailblazers, but I would say she is a true trailblazer in that sense, because she was way ahead of like what I know any female footballers. She was like way ahead.
Yo, this is for us, for them, for her, for every girl and loyal supporter. My hint, I go for a Cymru. This one's for the books, from the pitch to the border. This is for us, for them, for her, for every girl and loyal supporter. James to assist for...
Like Wendy, Safia grew up playing for boys' teams before attending trials at a regional talent centre. She has since played at all age groups for Wales, making her Cymru first team debut in February of 2023 against the Philippines. I met with Saf to talk about her debut and the continuing rise of women's football in Wales.
No team, no league, no man, nothing but dragons cover the scandal. Gas, no brakes, can you handle the stakes? When pressure's applied, have you got what it takes?
I still don't think I've wrapped my head around it. Like, just saying it then, I'm still like, no, am I really? Like, but no, it was a great experience, and I think it happened with the best team. Like, everyone was supportive, and no one was like, 18, you're playing at 18, like, I've had so many messages, phone was buzzing, so it was a great experience.
And can you remember being the game itself? And
I can. I could probably replay it in my head about 10 times a day, but yeah, you know, like first touch on the ball, and even just singing the national anthem, like looking up at the flag that was ahead of us above the team bench was something I don't think I'll ever forget.
Yeah, I've only got to sing it from the terraces, and that itself is quite something at
Yeah.
football game. And what about the women's game? When did you sort of become aware of the Wales women's team? And it seems to me fairly recent that the games are being screened and there's a lot of media attention. But given how young you are, it might feel like that's something you've just grown up with. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say it's something I've been lucky enough to just grow up with. But obviously, like television now, and we are very fortunate that it is slowly being shown, and we're breaking records each game. So I think it's a very, very lucky time period for myself and the players that I'm playing with, that we have this opportunity to show how good we are and hopefully see impacts on and off the pitch.
And how much do you know about the history of the women's game in that sort of pre-television era? Is that something that's talked about?
Unfortunately not. I don't think it's talked about enough. But, like Wendy and Vanessa, they are the trailblazers, and they are what I look up to be, and hope that I, from a racially diverse background, can be the next them and strive for more and push for more. And I honestly want to keep their legacy, because I think it'd be a waste if it just faded away. So, yeah, they're what I look up to.
This is for us, for them, for her, for every girl and loyal supporter.
Wendy Reilly's career saw Wales women's team gain acceptance from the FAW, but it ended before the era of live coverage of their games. She made 34 appearances for Cymru, as well as captaining and coaching the national team. Jane Ludlow describes her as one of the best leaders she's worked with. Wendy was one of a small number of women of colour, along with Vanessa O'Brien and Aisha Martin, who were part of the generation of women in Wales who worked as hard off the pitch as on it to gain the respect and recognition that women's football deserves.
What do you think then about your own position as a woman of colour? You've got the fact that girls are now starting to see women footballers far more than they did and be inspired in that way, but also that your background is diverse. Do you think there's a likelihood that that's going to have an impact on people looking on?
Well, I said before, I didn't really see myself as is that I really didn't see myself as a woman of colour. I just saw myself as a player. And really speaking, the fight for equality for women and for ethnic minorities to play the game is not just money orientated. It's got to be to have all the facilities, to have the training facilities, to have the medical facilities, to have the backup, to have the proper training. That is what our goal was initially for, really, I think. But we didn't realise that what we were building. When we were playing, we didn't realise. We just loved football and we were just playing football. So we didn't realise. I mean, who would have said there's going to be 70, 80, 90,000 people watching a women's game?
Yeah.
Who was going to say that? I wouldn't have said it. I didn't see that coming.
And what do you think young Wendy, who's playing football on the street around the corner with mostly boys, would have made of the career that you went on to have?
Oh, I'm not quite sure, really. I mean, I had a great time. I've still got plenty of very, very good friends whilst playing. I did my best, and whenever I could do, I played to the best of my ability. I think she would have been proud. I think she would have been proud of what we achieved in the end.
People who knew Wendy as a player talk about her considerable talent and a determination to succeed in the game. And that's a combination that we often see in trailblazers, those people who overcome barriers that really shouldn't have been there in the first place. Safia Middleton-Patel shows that same focused ambition, and she's very much aware that the healthy state of women's football in Wales is down to women like Wendy.
In the next episode, I'll be meeting Robert Earnshaw, Cymru's highest scoring black player for the men's team.
Tropic